everybody. We're here from Bobby's Hobbies, and we are test running a very strange locomotive. It's a hybrid. It has a Pemco GG1 underbelly. Oh, and it's become disconnected from this booster engine. This is a great Atlas engine, but that's not the one that we're testing. The one that we're testing today is this. Got a beautiful Chesapeake and Ohio livery, and it's got center hab construction, but I don't think it actually mimics any actual prototype. If anybody has an idea of what prototype it looks like, let me know. It's a really beautiful engine that I picked up at a train show, and as you can see, it's got really sleek lines. It looks like it was built up from two cabs that might have been made by, I'm not sure if it was lifelike. I'm really going to have to do some investigation. If anybody has an idea, I'd appreciate it. But the interesting thing about it is whoever built this and kit bashed it, put this nice cab in the center, put the two locomotives back to back, matched the paint scheme, or the weld, and underneath is a GG1 frame with a 2CC2 wheel arrangement. So it's not running perfectly. It does run, but it loses a lot of pickup, and it also squeals a lot, which tells me that there's something about it is not oiled well. You can see that looks pretty traditional. There's some kind of pancake motor, and it says Pemco, made in Hong Kong. And then there's this front truck, and you can see, so it's got 3 and 3 wheels pickup, and then you have this front truck and the back truck. Now I hope it's not just picking up from these two trucks, but we're gonna have to take a peek inside and see if we can get this to run better. Right now it just doesn't run that well. And ooh, the engine stopped. I wonder why. I wonder where it is. Let's see. Ready to go. Huh. Don't know where it is. Let me find it. I'll be back. Hi, everybody. This is Bobby from Bobby's Hobbies. And we're here today, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with this locomotive. And I'm going to switch camera angles in a second. But what I think this is actually two BL2 locomotives joined together. And we're going to take this apart. I got this at a train show, and we're going to see what's going on in here. Kind of interesting. Well, hello everybody. We're now set up to try to figure out, if we can, what makes this thing tick. So, I'm pretty sure now what this is two separate BL2 locomotives that some very creative and clever power railroader kit bashed into one giant locomotive and used a Pemco GG1 frame and wheel arrangement, and probably the insides as well, leaving us with a very interesting locomotive. Now I'm going to put on some power. We're going to see how well powered it is. Now if this were a GG1 from Pemco or Rivarossi, it would have a similar wheel arrangement, and the power would pick up from these two trucks. Now, these wheels are on opposite sides, metal to metal, so putting this power here and here should give us something, but it does not. Now that's interesting. Now there's a contact here on the inside. Now that works. So it's possible then that this would work if it were on the track and there was pressure. Yep, that's the key. So it only works when there's pressure, and that's because there is a flexible, it's very hard to see, but there's a flexible piece of metal in here. And that's good. That flexible piece of metal touches down on this plate, and that means these wheels do add. So that's right there is 4 wheels of pickup power. Now let's see if these wheels pick up. Now we know this is plastic, which is not great. We know that's not going to pick up. But let's see this wheel. Okay, so these trucks have some power. Not the center, but okay. So 4 out of the 6 metal wheels in here pick up. So a total of 8 pickup wheels. So it runs well. It does have some grease on it, on the gear axle. But I think what this is going to be primarily, if you could see, the wheels are a little dirty. And they're going to have to be cleaned. Now, I don't want to assume this pops off just like a out of the factory loco, but I don't see any screws or bolts. Now it doesn't mean they're not there. It's that I don't see it. It's really a pretty locomotive. Look at that, it's not even held on. Let's get a glimpse inside of this and see. Can we see any weld points in there? Oh wow. Oh, dusty, good as these. Sorry about that. A little bit of dust. Oh, this guy did or gal, I don't know who did it, but did an excellent job. If you could look in there, of welding these 2 shells together. It's really a pretty engine. And putting this off to the side a minute, you now see the inside. And I don't know if the lights are working or not, but that's something you should investigate. Let's see if the lights go on. Now, here's the leftover tab to go to a pantograph. This doesn't have a pantograph because it's a diesel. You could always add one on though, because I think it would look cool and even more fascinating. But let's see if when we run this, if any signs of life from the lights. Okay, that light's going. And this light is not. I see a diode there. Could it be directional lighting? How cool would that be? No? Well, maybe, but this light's just not working. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you could see this, but it's not really screwed in. Let's just see if we could bypass the circuitry. No. Hold on. Oh, you saw it, the light worked. It wants to work. So, what is going on there that the little light didn't go on? Did me tightening it up make a difference? Maybe. Yes. So this actually has directional lighting. That's pretty cool. Wow, it actually sounds really good too. That little bit of lube I put on it off camera, doing a nice job. Now let's see what kind of engine it's got in here without going crazy. I know some model railroads are really good at taking motors apart, and I think that's a wonderful ability, and it's very important when you need to. I just don't like to do it unless I really have no choice. Meaning, if I can get it to run reasonably well, I'm going to leave well enough alone, only because unless I want to make an actual showpiece out of this and run it for hours and hours, but I'm just going to put it back in the box. I'm not going to go too crazy, and that's because I don't want to risk losing parts that I don't have. Where there's little gears in there. It's typical, there's a tiny gear up here, There's a big wheelhouse gear, and then these two gears that go down to the wheels. Now I've lubed everything up. It's got plenty of lube on it. I think this is really just has to be cleaned wheel-wise. It's got 8 wheels of pickup. That's not terrible. I mean, it'd be wonderful if it had all these wheels of pickup, and if all these plastic wheels were metal, that would be phenomenal. But it doesn't. And you know what? It still can get it to run nicely. Of course, it would help if I put the power on a little power pack. Can't get it to work without power. Oh, look. Let me see if I can. Really, this thing is firing like a champ. Look at that. Looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to go with I'm going to call it the de minimis theory. Not going to go crazy. Not going to take it apart. There's a lot to say that this engine is pretty good as is. Now there is something over here. I noticed that this doesn't want to slide too well. But you know, it's not too bad. It's just that it feels like it sticks a little bit. Terrible. Let's give it a little test on the layout. Now I see it's got a traction tire here. See, so that's another wheel that's not actually picking up, and this one doesn't pick up. So it actually only has 1 here, 2 here. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So a 7-wheel pickup train. And these wheels are just free floating. But you know what? It's not a bad design, and it works. Sometimes enjoy the fact that something's different. May not have, and look at the workmanship. This guy did such a great job on this. That model, I wish I knew who that model railroader was. Because this is a great, if you, and you don't have to ruin your GG1. Just take the top off. Now you do kind of ruin your BL2. I mean, but you could put that power on something else and you get this magnificent looking engine. I never would have done it myself. I can't say I would have thought about it. This is a beautiful engine. Let's see if we can get it to run on the layout. Hi everybody, we're back on the layout and we're going to try to give big Chesapeake and Ohio center cab. Now this is a double BL2. So maybe that's what we should call it, the double BL2. Oh, there it goes. A little hesitation. I'm giving it a lot of power because I don't really have confidence in the amount of wheels it's got to pick up. Yeah, the track is not the cleanest. Gosh darn it. Maybe we should send a locomotive rescue. That might be the best idea. This engine is super reliable. So instead of us going around the layout, again, for some engines, the track only has to be nominally clean. For others, it's got to be perfectly clean. Now, it would be nice if we knew where it was so we don't derail it. So we'll slow it down. They're both stalled. That must be a really bad section of track. Can we reach it? Can we even see them? Oh, look at that. They stalled independently. Reaching for a trusty piece of wood. Of course, this presents a nice obstacle. Oop. Oh, dead as a doornail. All right, well, that test is not a success. Well, it got stuck, and I think it got stuck because of some dirty track, and this doesn't have a full wheelbase of pickup. I did clean the wheels. I didn't show it, but they are pretty clean, but not clean enough, I guess. So we're going to have to see. Well, there's the directional lighting. Let's switch polarity. Well, the engine has a lot of potential. So I think, though, that the track work is just not clean enough for an engine that's sensitive. So let's call this today a partial success and at least an interesting review of quite a different locomotive. Now, I don't know if I never had at least I don't think I have a Pemco GG1 anywhere, although this is what this is, a Pemco GG1 with a different top or different shell. I always could put a River Rossi or another GG1 shell on this too, but it's such a neat looking locomotive. Maybe we have to consider in the future if this is the best drive system for it. Anyway, not that easy to put this shell on without getting this, off the track. It's a little temperamental. Let's just see which way she wants to go. It's a little temperamental. I guess I would be too if I only got played with once in a while. The trains, who knows? Maybe I gotta just run things more. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.